A digital searchable magic collection is incredibly powerful. Once you digitize your collection, you will know what every card is worth. You can find any card instantly, and you can build decks from your collection much more effectively. You can also trade much easier. You can browse your collection from anywhere, even when you're not at home. The number one question I get is, my collection is all over the place. Some of my cards are sleeve decks, other cards are in binders, and I have lots of unsleeved bulk. How do I digitize all of that? That is exactly what this video is about. I'm going to walk you through the best scanning methods for each way your cards might be stored and show you exactly how the software handles that. Organizational tips are in the free guide in the description below, but today we're entirely focused on getting your cards digitized. Let's get into it. So the first place we'll start is with a single scan. It's the easiest to introduce. I'm sure you guys have used other apps that do the same thing, but you just go select single scan, you place the card in the box, you hit capture, and then you hit process, and this will take us to our review screen, what we call the batch summary screen. So this batch summary screen is incredibly powerful. It does a lot, but the main intention is that you can look at the captured image on the left-hand side and the predicted image on the right-hand side. So in this case, you can tap the captured image. So I tap the left-hand image and it makes it larger so you can see it in more detail, and you compare it to the right-hand image and you can say, yes, this is the correct card, or no, this is the wrong card. If you swipe right, you can swipe to change the foiling. So now it has the foiling indicator, and this is the correct card, but in the case it got the wrong card, you could tap on the right hand image and select the correct version of this card. So that's the manual scan. You could do this as many times as you want with as many cards you want and go through this review process in a list, and then once you're done, you hit add cards to collection. You can select a collection. I'm just going to make a dummy location, and you hit confirm, and then as soon as your cards get uploaded here, you can return home, and on your home screen you'll see in the recent ads that card I just added. If I tap that and go to my collection, it'll show me where that card is. I just added this card in 000. If I want to, I can go ahead and tap that and delete it because I don't actually want it there, and now it's out of my collection. So that's the first and easiest way to add cards into your collection. That's a singular scan. All right, so up next we have the binder scan. So I know a lot of you guys have cards in binders and you don't want to pull them out to scan them. So we developed what we call a grid scan. It's basically going to let you take an image of your binder page, and then it's going to detect all the cards on that binder page and digitize those for you. So a quick tutorial of that, or a quick example of that. We're just going to open up this binder. We're going to go ahead and select scan, grid scan, and in the settings we can change the number of rows and columns. I've already got it set up to 3 rows and 4 columns. So we're going to go ahead and line this up. So all we're going to do is we're going to line up the cards to the cells in the grid, and then we'll capture the image. And you could capture multiple images at once. You could capture as many binder pages as you want, and then you'll hit process. So once this is done processing, you end up at the same review screen as last time, but we're going to go over a few more features. So first thing, the grid scan or binder scan tries to pull a lot more data from a single image, so it's less precise, but it still works quite well. So the first thing you're going to notice is some of these cards have gold borders, and what the gold border is, it's the algorithm telling you that this card we're not sure is the correct version. Please check that. And if you click the red triangle at the top, it's going to filter for only these gold bordered selections, and you can just scroll through these and make sure you have the right version. So I'm noticing this worm coil engine is the incorrect version. I'll just tap that real quick, find the correct version. I should have looked at it before. I think it's this one. Let me double check that. Yeah, so it's that one. And then we'll go to the other worm coil, and this is the same one, it looks like. Select that one, and then we're just checking the other versions here, making sure they all look correct. So these all look right. This is the wrong worm coil as well. Grab the correct one. Yep, we're good to go there. So now I'll unfilter, so I'll show all of the cards, not just the gold bordered ones, by hitting that triangle again. And then we can go through and check the other versions. So you can see like this is a Zabaz. Like this image is a terrible image I captured. Like I didn't do a good job lining up the grid at all, but it was still able to predict the card reasonably well. And I'm looking at my binder right now, and all these Zabazes are foils. So I'll just swipe these over to foil all of these. I think that's it. I think we're good. So all of these other ones are correct. And just like before, I can go ahead and add these to my collection. So I'm going to go ahead and just add these to another dummy collection just for the demo. Going to update. I can return home, and once again I will see these cards were added to my collection in the recent ads section. And if I want to, I can go look at this binder page in my collection by specifying this location and searching it. There we go. That's that binder page all scanned in. Alright, so up next we have sleeved cards. So a lot of you guys are going to have decks and sleeves and things, or whatever, and you're not going to want to unsleeve them. Just scan them through the automated scanner or otherwise. So the way I recommend scanning sleeved cards is to just use one of these scan stands. They're free if you have a 3D printer, or you can buy them off Amazon or whatever for $10. They just make it a lot easier than manual scanning a stack of cards. So we'll go into the app, we'll go to single scan, and in the top right you can toggle on and off time scanning. And basically what time scanning is, it's just gonna grab an image at a timed interval, so it just makes it easier for you to, just a hands-free scanning basically. So you can just feed cards into this 3D printed thing, and it's gonna capture the images for you without having to touch anything. So you can set the interval to whatever you want. I'm gonna set it to 1.5 seconds. And then you just want to try to get the shadows in this bin as kind of even as possible. I'm not going to be able to do a good job of that just because of this kind of filming lighting. But anyways, it's fine. So set the timer to what you want, put one card in, center that card in the green rectangle and press start. It's going to capture an image now every 1.5 seconds, and we'll just feed them in like so. And this is a pretty easy to do process. It doesn't take very long. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with doing similar things to this with different apps or whatever. So that's it. You're just going to keep scanning in cards like this. And once you're done, you just hit stop. And you'll hit process. And just like before, it's going to process cards the same way it does with single scans or binder scans or automatic scanning. It's all using the same algorithm effectively. And we're going to end up at the same review screen, right? So just like before, you can review, you can make sure you got the correct versions, you can select any foiling you want, and so on and so forth. So the review screen, once you learn how to use it, it's very easy. So we'll add these to a collection if we wanted to, just like before, and then that digitizes these sleeved cards in your collection. If you ever need to get back to your batch summary screen, you can go into scan, you can hit batch, and it'll return you to your batch summary screen. You could, again, add these cards to the collection. I don't want to. They're already in my collection. I'm going to select them all and delete and clear my batch summary screen that way. Let's now cover cards that you're not physically by. So you can add any card to your collection by using the search icon, going to all cards, and searching for a card. So I can literally find, let's find a Mox Diamond, because why not? Search. It's gonna find that card. You can pick which version you want. Let's pick this version, and then you could add this to any location and add it to your collection just like that. So that's that method. And then next we'll move on to automatic scanning. So the last thing is unsleeved bulk, or unsleeved cards in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be bulk, but just unsleeved cards. This is kind of the hardest part, right? Because you probably have the most of these, or at least most people do. So how do you digitize those? It'd be a pain in the butt to use one of those scan stands. You can certainly do it. It's just kind of time consuming, and some of us might get carpal tunnel. You could put them all in a binder or grid scan them. You could single scan them. You can manually add them. But those are all very time consuming. And if you want to just do it automatically, we have a solution for that. It's kind of our bread and butter. So we built this machine called the CSC 100. It's a automatic card scanner. It only works with unsleeved cards. It's just got a little USB-C port on the back. You plug it in, you'll get a green LED that's flashing. And then you go on your phone, you go to scan, you go to automatic scan, and it's going to connect. That green LED is going to go solid green. And then you're just going to align your phone with this exit bin. So this little scan stand can move around. And again, you want pretty good lighting here. I'm not able to get great lighting with the lighting I'm using for filming, but most of the time you can get decent lighting just in a room. So once you get your cards in, you just hit start scan, and it's going to automatically scan all these cards. So we'll just do 15 or 20 here. I'm gonna stop this at 20, and that's it. So it's scanning those cards hands-free. I don't have to do anything. I could be playing video games, I could be washing dishes, I could be doing whatever while it's scanning. And then just like before, you're gonna hit View Batch Summary, and it's gonna process these cards. And then just like we saw earlier on the batch summary screen, you can review the cards and you can modify the versions, you can modify the predictions, you can change foiling, you can delete cards, whatever. It's just a very nice way for you to make sure the cards are right. So many of our users are scanning several hundred cards at a time, maybe even more, and then they just review the cards all at once, you know, sitting on the couch or doing whatever. All right, so now that we're in this final screen, we have all our cards. We see one did not make a prediction. It's kind of blurry. There's some settings you could modify to ensure this blurriness doesn't happen. But again, just like before, we can find this card similarly to how we manually added a card. And I think this was it. Yep. So there we go. We've done that. And then we can very easily scroll through the rest of these, comparing left and right hand images. Again, left hand images are the input image, right hand images are the prediction. And we can say, okay, yeah, these are all good. These are all correct. And then we can add them to your collection just like before. So add them to our collection. It's going to upload these, return home. And we can see these are now in our recent ads. So that's a demonstration of all the various ways you can add cards to your digital collection using our software. Again, it's really critical if you start to use a system like this that all your cards get digitized. It's not as helpful to digitize, say, 75% of your collection. You want to digitize, 100%. So there, we showed you how you can do sleeved cards, unsleeved cards, cards and binders. So that's covering all the bases there. If you want to figure out the fastest way to do this and organize your collection in a very, very efficient way, check out this link. If you want to see how easy it is to build decks once you have your collection digitized, check out this link. And if you want to see how it makes trading easier, check out this link. Thank you for watching.